So people are still joining, but let's start on time. So Saturday morning, as always, we are here. And traditionally, we are starting with the devotion. So this is my pleasure to give the floor to Matthew.
Yes, I looked a bit surprised, but yeah, that is me. Yeah, good morning, everyone. I've been given the task of doing a quick morning devotion, only 5 minutes, so I will take, I'll try to keep it within the 5 minutes. So yeah, I was looking at what we're going to be doing today, and I thought we are going to need to kind of step out of our comfort zones a wee bit today. So I thought actually that's probably a good topic as a quick devotional. When we're looking at fundraising and partnerships, a lot of that may push people out of their comfort zones. So that is the topic. We've probably all done stuff that pushes us out of our comfort zones, but hopefully once you've done that or experienced it, you were able to reflect and see what the outcome of that was. Was it good? Was it bad? And so on. Now, many people know that the YMCA is a Christian movement. So I'm going to share a wee video that is from a guy called Francis Chan. You guys may know that, know him already. But I thought that this video speaks about comfort zones and in relation, obviously, to the Christian faith very well. So I think I'm okay to share screen. Yeah, I am. Perfect. So we'll optimize for video clip. So yeah, we'll share this video. Hopefully it works fine for everybody, and then we'll come back. It's only like 2 or 3 minutes, I think. Okay. So you should be able to see my screen. Let me just make sure this is all working for me as well. 2 seconds. So are you able to see my screen? I can't see you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see.
Amazing. Okay, so let's listen to this video really quickly.
Off the team, whatever, you know, just there's so much instability, so much that we don't understand, that we don't know. For me, growing up, it was a lot of you guys know my mom died giving birth to me, and my dad remarried. Then my stepmom died in a car accident when I was 9. Then my dad got married again. Then my dad died of cancer when I was 12. And so I'm in junior high. My mom's dead, my stepmom's dead, my dad's dead. The only close relatives I had were my aunt and uncle, George and Sandra. And then when I was in high school, they got in a fight, and my uncle George shot and killed my aunt, and then stuck the gun to his own head, killed himself. So I'm 16 years old, and this is life to me, going, man, what's next? Everything seems to be falling apart, and we get a little worried, we get a little scared. And this is what Christians do, you know, they try to serve God, but then things get a little rocky. And things get a little unstable, and so we go, okay, that was nuts. I don't want to live like that. Let me hold on. And this is your routine. This is what so many people do. They go, you know what? I'm not going to try anything crazy. I'm just going to sit here, and I'm just going to hold on. And this is what you look like. You just go. This is what people do. You know what? I'm just going to have my nice little family. We're just going to. We're just going to keep to ourselves. We're going to live in a gated community. I'm going to homeschool my kids, make them wear helmets everywhere. I'm going to, I'm not going to let them outside because sun has bad rays. I'm going to, just on and on and on. And you just live your life in the safety of, I don't want to do anything crazy for God. I just want to, go to church on Sundays and maybe give like 2%. And maybe help the nursery because I feel guilty. And then you do this your whole life, and then you go, your greatest prayer is like, God, you know what? I would love to die in my sleep and not even feel it, and then just go up to heaven. And so you want to die like this, just in your sleep, right in the middle of a dream, good dream, the dream you're going to heaven, and you don't even feel it. And then suddenly you wake up, you stand before the judge, and you go, now, if Could you imagine watching the Olympics, you know? And some girl does that, just gets up there, starts straddling the thing, and then steps off and goes. What is the judge supposed to do on the card? You see, and to me, I go, man, that's the routine that so many Christians are headed for. That's the routine, the boring, I do nothing crazy because I don't want to fall. That's the routine that they're going to live, and then one day it's going to be a shock because they're going to step off that balance beam and realize they're standing before the judge. They're standing before the judge, and you think he's going to look at that routine and go, wow, well done. Well done. You lived the safest life possible. You didn't slip, you didn't fall. See, that's not the life that God's called us to. That's where the majority will head, but I don't want to go where the majority goes.
Okay. So that was a quick video by Francis Chan. As you can tell from the video quality, it's very old, but I think it's still very relevant and very useful. But as you can see, he's talking about living life quite comfortably, and then what does that achieve? And I love his illustration of the Olympics, holding onto the beam and then jumping off and doing your pirouette, whatever it's called, and expecting the great applause. So really, I think our quick devotional today focused on comfort zones is, let's reflect on, if you remain in your comfort zone, in your bubble, what outcome are you going to achieve? What are you going to experience within that? Yes, you will experience, and you may experience great things, but there's an understanding that you're not going to stretch that, which means that you may not achieve even greater things. Okay, so if we obviously stretch our comfort zones and be bold and take those steps and be brave as well, we can achieve so much. All right. And I think we are all doing that just now with the Leadership Academy. The fact that we are delivering this entire course across obviously many different countries that we all live in, online, and trying to go through it all using all these different pieces of technology and stuff is a great way of showing that you're stretching our comfort zones, and look what we're able to achieve through that. But let me give you an example of one other thing. Here at YMCA Tayside, a good example that actually is shown by people stretching their comfort zones is the fact that we are building a new YMCA here in our city. And our chief executive that is leading on this piece of work is going through all the planning and all the everything to do with building this new building. She doesn't do this day to day. This is a completely new project for her that's obviously been going on for a few years now, but she's learning as she goes. We need to fundraise a lot of money to get this building built. So she went along with obviously a board to a local funder, and we asked for £250,000 in order to go towards this building. And with that intent of stretching your comfort zone, with being bold and everything else, the decision came in this week that we actually secured 300,000. So it was a massive uplift in such a difficult time. But it just showed that the ability to be bold, to stretch your comfort zone, to approach these this local funder, large funder, and to be confident in what you're doing can yield some amazing results. So our focus today is on fundraising and on partnerships. You're going to be tasked with certain things throughout the day. You're going to be challenged. I encourage you to be bold and to step out of those comfort zones. Try not to hold back, okay? There's probably going to be a little bit of a challenge today that's going to touch on fundraising. Keep that story in mind about what we're doing here at YMCA Tayside. We approached a funder asking for 250,000 with a bold claim and everything else, and we ended up getting £50,000 more because the funder really enjoyed what we're offering. So keep that in mind as you go out with the rest that we're doing today. Okay, but yeah, that was my quick devotional. So I think I'm handing back over to Olga.
Thank you so much, Matthew. This is so inspirational. Yeah, and congratulations. Amazing achievements. Congratulations. And great example for today's session on fundraising and partnership. But before we go to the topics, I know that Francesca has some warming up for us, don't you?
Yes, I have. Good morning. How are you? Please open your mic.
Yeah,
All of you.
Hi.
How are you? Can I hear your voice?
Hello.
Hi.
So just 5 minutes to warm up a bit. So thank you to Matthew. Now we have to motivate ourselves to move out from our comfort zone. And in Italian we have a proverb, is forza e coraggio, dopo aprile arriva maggio, which means be strong, be brave, after April is coming May. And it's something that we can use when we need power and patience to do something more. And in this historical time, we really need patience and powers to carry on, although the frustration we feel about COVID and all the consequences related on it. So please repeat after me, open your mic. Forza e coraggio.
Forza
e coraggio.
Dopo aprile arriva maggio.
Dopo aprile arriva maggio.
Ilenia, wow, you're very good.
Ilenia, are you from Italy?
Possibly.
Do someone of you in your language have a proverb?
Let me
like
alone,
that?
by the way, guys.
Do someone of you in your language have a proverb like that?
We have a proverb in Russian about March, and it says, when March is coming, put on 3 trousers.
I don't know this one.
Барток, надевай трое порток. Ты чего?
No, still not helpful.
I heard about 7, not 3, but 7.
Because you are in the north. You are in the north of Russia.
We want to learn it in Russian.
You don't.
No.
It's not
You
possible.
don't need to learn it because it's very pessimistic. It means that
Okay, so we
although
don't.
spring has come, although spring has come, it's still too cold. So.
Okay.
Opposite
So if
meaning.
someone wants to teach one proverb to us, we are happy, but it's in Greece. Do you have, Nikos, some proverb to give power? No. In Spain, Alba?
I'm trying to think, but nothing comes to my mind. So not sure.
Okay. Lina, we want to learn no, you don't.
I can't think of anything right now. Maybe Nea and Tulia can.
You see, only Italian people are optimistic. The rest of Europe do not have any optimistic proverbs.
Okay, so the floor is yours, as you say, Olga.
I'm thinking about months, but nothing comes up to my mind about months. What we say.
Nia, I see your face. Maybe you're thinking about you have something.
Yeah, no.
Okay, please teach us something very not optimistic, so we can.
I can't really come up with anything. I'm trying to Google, but it's really difficult to find.
Okay, by the way, it's okay. Forza e coraggio, dopo aprile arriva maggio.
I want from Sardinia, if you like that.
Yes, I want.
Because us Sardinians are kind of Italian, but kind of not. So we're not that optimistic. So we say, su soli del mazzo vigado a passo, which means take the sun of March, but take it little by little, you know, like don't put too much confidence on the spring that arrives or you're going to get burned. Because in Sardinia, April already yeah, it's already too hot. So don't get too enthusiastic about the spring. Doesn't give much power, I'm afraid. But it reminds us that somewhere in Europe, at least already March, you don't have to put 7 pants on.
I can tell if you want. I found one in Slovak. I don't remember as well, but they Googled. So, but yes, it's Marec oberaj sa starec, and this means in March the old men go out, but in other means it means like winter already get off, please.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, Francesca. Yeah, I wish the same. Let the winter leave us as soon as possible. We still have some snow and rain, so, but already sun today, so we have the hope. All right, so let's have a look at our agenda for today. And as we told already, so we will work on fundraising campaign. We will speak about partnership, and we will have some simulation exercises. And today we will have a very special thing. We will visit YMCA Malta. So that will be a kind of a present actually to our group, yeah, because we will make a kind of a virtual visit to different venues in YMCA Malta, and we have the opportunity to ask Anthony and staff and volunteers and to see the venues and ask questions. So please be prepared. This is amazing opportunity to study and this case, yeah, and to know about YMCA Malta and their wonderful job as much as we want. Before we go to the fundraising topic, so the question is to you, just to remind what you have learned in STEPIC and what you know already, like what are the main means, ways of fundraising you can quickly remember, recall, brainstorm? Just how to fundraise, any ways, just put your mic on and tell, so we start thinking about this part.
What comes to mind are the two big categories. So we have the traditional private donations, asking for people and family.
Yeah, thank you. Private donations, great, thank you. Let's recall a couple of more.
But there are special sites like Patreon. Put like a proposition of your project and the short description, and people can just go and donate.
Brilliant. This is a kind of crowdfunding. Yeah, way of private donations. Yeah, thank you, Juliet. Any more?
You can also organize some events, like civil event in the city, and collect the money. Also.
Yeah, like with the cans and boxes, for example. Yeah, thank you.
Gwen, you were talking, but unfortunately your mic is not working or something like that. We couldn't hear you.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, Gwen, yeah, sure. If you want to tell something, please leave us a message. Any other?
Did someone mention government funding already?
Yeah, sure. You can apply to government funding. It's not available in each country for civil society organizations, but in many countries it is available. Yep. And let's recall two more.
Can we call child like trick or treat game on Halloween as a fundraiser?
Nice example of it, yeah, going from door to door and collecting resources. So let it be. Thank you, Juliet.
Then one way can be like charity shops.
Yeah, brilliant, Nea. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Also, one more is it's cooperation with business. That could be.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, cooperation with business, making projects together or getting money from them. Perfect. All right. Yeah, looks like you know what we are talking about, because now we are going to work in mini groups, and you will actually have to think much more about these topics now in mini groups. We will have 3 groups, and you will have like two tasks. You will have the topic, you will have understanding what you are collecting money for. The trainers will be in the group, and they will tell you the topics, and also the name of the group tells you the topic itself. So your task will consist of 2 parts. The first part is to think about the overall fundraising campaign, the approach you are going to use, like what is the aim, whom you are going to approach, and different means how you are going to do it. So we will look forward to hear like short presentations. But the second part is also to use the resource of this group. You will need to make the very brief, bright presentation to our group. Those people who have some money, virtual €100, and then at the very end, we will even vote and distribute the money among the projects. So let me repeat again what you are doing. You are appearing in the group. You are having 20 minutes to discuss the fund and create the fundraising campaign, whom you are going to approach and how you are going to collect. When you are back to the main room, you will present it for approximately 4 minutes. And as the last 1 minute, you will deliver bright appeal to our group. So we donate our money for your project. Please correct me, add anything, dear trainers, ask questions.
And presentations, how it must look? Is it must write?
Yeah, this is a good question. Thank you. It should look however you would love to. Please be like creative. But what we have, like, we actually have the slides at the Jam board. Let me copy it to you. Yeah, so you will find your group, and you will find the name. So if you need the wall, you can use this space for presentation. All right, any other questions? So let's go then. I'm switching the rooms on. Trainers will be with you for 1 minute to explain you if anything needed. All right, welcome back. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Good. So you are nodding. All right, so now there will be time for each group to present. So presented your campaign, yeah, how you are going to collect money, and then do not forget to appeal to our group, yeah, so we donate our 100 euros to your project, yeah. So any volunteers? Let's start then with the group one. Ian, did you raise the hand?
Yeah, I don't mind doing it and
please go ahead.
Getting
your
it.
group.
Is my connection strong enough? It's sometimes a bit jumpy from my end. Can everybody hear it okay?
Now it is good. Yeah, so so you have 5 minutes for everything.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, so we are part of a group, we'll say YMCA, who work with the most vulnerable and sort of impoverished in our local communities. And we are launching a campaign called Christmas for Everyone. And the aim of the campaign is to raise awareness around poverty and inequality amongst the most vulnerable in our community, particularly children and young people. And as we all know, Christmas is a time of hope and sharing and love and coming together. And unfortunately, there are those in our communities that struggle at this time and face challenges and difficulties due to income or due to circumstance. And so our Christmas for Everyone campaign is a Christmas appeal to launch a campaign that allows the public to get involved in providing gifts and donations that will go towards these young people and families at Christmas time. So we're asking for funds to launch this campaign nationwide, and we have already spoken to local companies and businesses that are willing to match any donations that are given from the public. So we're really wanting to make a big impact right across the families and young people that we work with. And we would love to get this campaign up and running. And we think it would be really successful and really impactful right across many young people and families. So I know that's not 5 minutes. Does anyone else from our team have anything to jump in with?
Do you want to make any kind of appeal to this group?
Well,
we have money. We have some money.
We would love you to come on board and partner with us in launching the campaign. So we would love to use your money to get this campaign up and running, to allow you as funders to help promote and get involved in this work. We think it would be really valuable for you. And so if you would like to get involved and contribute, we would most welcome that. Any questions? Would you like to give your, is it £100 or €100?
Euro.
Okay. We love that.
So there is time if you have questions or would like to add anything. Please go ahead if you want to know more details.
Maybe I might ask something like, what kind of activities will you have?
So what we are aiming to do through this campaign is to raise awareness around the poverty and inequality, particularly at Christmas time for families. And so what we're asking the public is to donate or gift items that can be distributed out to those families and young people at Christmas time as part of our Christmas for Everyone appeal. So how people would get involved is by gifting items and donations, and we'll do this through sort of drop-off points in local sort of shopping centres and community centres where people can come and bring their items and drop them off. We'll distribute them to the families and young people.
All right, thank you so much. So let's give big applause to this group. And we are giving the floor to the group who was dealing with any volunteers, or let's go to the group number 2 then, yeah? Easter dinner. If you need me to share, to give you permission to share the screen or to share the screen, just let me know.
Yes, I want to share my screen.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you.
So your time starts.
Okay. So what is Easter? It's like kind of interactive presentation. So what is Easter to you? Can you please tell me? Put on the mic and just tell. Just
Holidays.
Holidays. Okay. What else?
Family party.
Family party. Yeah. And the what do we do on family parties? What do we need on family parties?
We eat good food.
Yep. Yep, that's true. What's also Easter? Other associations?
It's a chance to get together with people with whom you do not usually meet in your everyday life, like with whom you actually party once a year.
Okay. What else? What's Easter like by definition? I don't know.
It's traditional event.
Event, yeah, it's a good word. And events sometimes means celebration. So Easter is like a celebration. From
Spirit up.
I'm bad at this. Okay, and based on like your associations, we have some kind of activities that are following those categories. So if we will go, okay, if we will go over here, I will demonstrate it. Can you see it, or it's like there's a better way to show?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, and we have different kind of activities based on your situations. And now somebody else can tell you about that, like Nikos.
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah,
so we have thought of some ways to make money, which are mostly we can contact some grocery stores that already have some programs that allow you to allow them to save some of the things that they haven't sold during the week, and they save it to a reserve bank that they can then distribute to homeless people or people in need. We can make a partnership with them, or we can also recruit some people of popularity, for example, athletes or artists that have like they have a big voice in social media or ads or whatever. We can also create social events, for example, kind of marathon or like a 5K one, or just to make people come and to do sports, but also like help the local community, the people in need. So we have also thought of some masterclass that a chef like can show people how to cook, and then we can donate the money and the food that has been amassed from the event to
1 minute
in need.
is left.
All right. And
Do you want me to say something?
yeah, of course.
Okay.
If you can.
So yeah, based on here, you can see that we have like grocery stores and the cooking show, cooking masterclass, is dealing with the idea of food. We have we can place boxes where you can put your donation in theaters, in a circus, like everywhere where people entertain themselves. And the idea is like you can help to give this celebration to others. Yes, and overall, like what do we need money for? We need money for example, advertising. We need money for those kind of like boxes. We need money to organize the place to do a marathon, for example, and I don't know, maybe money to pay the chef that who will run the masterclass where
Juliet, I'm sorry, your time is running out. Just if you have 10 seconds for appeal, just any last appeal to this group, please go ahead.
No, I guess that's all I wanted to say.
All right, then thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, big applause. So, and the last but not the least, please, who is going to take the floor?
I think it's our group. Maybe Olga, if you can just share the Jamboard for group number 3.
Yep, sure.
Okay, hi everyone. Our project, what we're funding money for, is creating a sports yard in our little town. This sports yard is free for anyone to use. People of all ages can benefit of it, and it's a great place to have teams and young people and kids and adults get together and get active. So we would maybe include having a kind of football yard or basketball yard, then this exercising equipment, and then a children's playground, all in the same place to bring the community together. Maybe someone in the group wants to continue with fundraising. Okay, well, we have a few activities planned in addition to your donation. We would maybe organize events to get the community kind of together and to make sure that everyone knows this project is going on, and also contribute financially, maybe organize an event that you have to pay for to come in, and all that money goes to building this sports yard. Then we would also, we're also thinking to collaborating with sports companies, maybe local gyms, local sport equipment sellers to sponsor our project, and organize different types of fundraising events, like this bingo where you participate, and then there's the grand prize of dinner in a local restaurant, and then also collecting money from the event. Then maybe have this auction, for example, that you bid money to have someone work for your business for 2 days, and then you kind of pay that person by paying this this project money. Yeah, and this is also good because in this project, not only people benefit, but you could also have schools to come here and be more active, and it altogether brings more healthy lifestyle, easily accessible to everyone in this town. Yeah. And our slogan is more money, more healthy fun for our community. Did anyone in my team have anything to add?
I would just add that we would invite some professional sportsmen to attract more attention to sports, like they are influencers in many ways. That's it. So they will conduct some kinds of master classes for children in a kind of entertaining way. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to make any appeal to this group? You still have time. So we bring money to your project, but not other ones.
Yeah, maybe just that this is a good one to benefit all in the community and bring healthy lifestyle to everyone, easy, accessible, and free.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, thank you so much. You were so quick. Thanks a lot. So this is now high time to analyze what you have just heard. Yeah, so there was Christmas presents for kids, Easter dinner for homeless people, and building sport yard in the countryside. So now we will use the Mentimeter program. You can use it at the browser, or you can use it as the application. So those who have the application downloaded on their smartphones, please use this code. Sorry, it takes some time. So this is the code. If you are using a browser, you can use this link. Each of you, including trainers, have 100 euros. And you can distribute them however you love. You can give all 100 to one project. You can distribute them like evenly, or with any percent that you feel like. Okay, let me show you the results, how you are voting. I want to vote as well. Are you managing to do it? Does anyone need more time? Give me a sign. All right, yes, so then we can send our congratulations to the project, to the team who was working with Easter dinner for homeless people. You have managed to collect, yeah, more money than other ones, but you can see that the numbers are quite even, yeah. So congratulations to all groups. Great job is done. And definitely we were doing it not just for doing. This is some experience to analyze, to reflect on. So now let's listen to your hearts and brains and analyze why you have voted for this or that, why you have donated money, why you have donated less money or haven't donated at all. So we suggest to discuss and to put some lessons learned, yeah, what worked well and what actually didn't work so well, and what you can use in your real life. So we will make some notes, and Matthew will help us with writing. So if you want to share, please put your mic on.
I can share.
Yeah, please start.
Yeah, so why I, okay, the important thing for me was that the idea that stands behind the project. So for example, the Christmas gifts for a child in need and the Easter dinner for homeless people, I think is more crucial than a playground somewhere. So like people can live without a playground, but like to feed people and to give presents for children is more, I don't know, maybe it's just in my, I don't know, in my world, it's more crucial than creating the sports ground.
Yeah, this is clear. So we can put like the idea itself, yeah, what stands behind it. Thank you. Yeah, any other?
For me, it was important to understand which activities that campaign would like to provide. So I choose the Easter dinner and that's the sport activities, because I understand more clear for what they need money, for which activities.
Okay, so that was important, how money will be spent exactly. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Olga.
As for me, may I say? As
Yeah,
for
sure.
me, it was what kind of focus group is used in this project. So it's a children, it's a homeless, or it's some local area. What ages you can use when you achieve the goal of the project. So as for me, it was a focus group.
Yeah, thank you, Sergey. Yeah, target group, audience, yeah, whom you are creating these activities for are crucial, yeah, for sure. Because probably for some people, this is more important to donate to for vulnerable, yeah, for those who do not have homes. But for some people, yeah, this is more important to donate for the kids living in countryside, yeah, and their health. Yeah, thank you, target group.
May I say?
Yes, yes, please.
I was really inspired by the visual materials, and for me, it's an important argument to donate money to those projects who made nice presentations, because I understand that if they are able to present their project well, then they probably will be able to report well as well. Because certainly all the projects are socially important and they work with vulnerable groups of people, and of course they are like all great ideas and good projects and motivated people and so on, but it's an important part of a project how well you can present and how well you're going to report. So this was a strong argument for me.
Yeah, thank you, Tina. Yeah, good, clear presentation with visual stuff. Yeah, this is important, fully agree.
Can I add now?
Sure.
For me, it was also important to see if the effect of what we are organizing is long-term or short-term. For example, yes, it's really great to organize the Eastern dinner for the people who are homeless and have nothing to eat for Eastern. But on the other hand, it's one of even you feed people, which is really great. But on the other hand, for example, the playground you can use for years. So you can meet there every day. So for me as a donor, it would be also interesting to see how long the effect of the event is. So for me, it would be more attractive to support the playground where you can play for years and you can support the local community than to make a one-off event. But of course, it can be different for any donor, but you can also look at the issue from this side. Also, what I liked on the group 3 was that they made a very clear and nice, easy to remember slogan. This is very important for your future campaigns. You have to create kind of slogan which is easy to remember and it stays in the mind of people. They remember it. Then I also enjoyed the presentation. I wanted to say the same, that it's very, very important in which way you present. It was also interesting on the group 1, the kids, the Christmas gifts for kids, that they somehow didn't understand the task in the way that they should collect money for the Christmas gifts, but they more elaborated in this kind of, how to say, an advocacy campaign. So this was interesting for me to see that they were more thinking about the advocacy campaign, like what the kids needs, and they need. It was not only about saying that we buy Christmas gifts for kids, but on the other hand, they elaborated much more further this issue. This is what I really liked.
Yeah, thank you, Martina. And this is a different approach.
Yeah.
And during the third session, we will speak much about advocacy. So this is good observation. Thank you. Yeah, summing up what Martina told. Yes, sustainability of a project.
Yeah.
And the slogan, are important.
Can I say?
Go. Yeah, please. This is Elenia. Those who did STEPIC, they know Elenia very well. Those who haven't done STEPIC yet, please meet Elenia Fentroni, YMCA Europe Officer for Advocacy and Project Management. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's all right. And thank you very much. And I apologize for those who had to already listen too much of me on STEPIC. And just a short thing, and what Martina said was completely right, but I think it was so interesting to see that you guys voted with different heads. So those of you who thought like the general public, you voted for the cause that seemed more compelling, regardless if the group has made the case for the cause itself, because some of you had, of course, there's like a scale, no? Some of you said it as well. Children in need versus homeless versus the countryside. And some of you made a big case for the need and maybe describe less the activity. But of course, if you're voting as the general public, you really don't care because you have your own values, right? So if you feel like children in need is the most important, you're going to look less at what activities will be done, and you will be compelled to donate because you feel the cause. And some of others of you thought like donors. Now the donor will look much more at what's the sustainability of the campaign itself. It's a bit also what said Martina, but also in a different way. And if you guys, if have a good cause, but it also seems like you know already which activities to do to support that cause, the donor will be more compelled to support you because they'll know they will give a big help, but they don't depend totally on you. And so they would be really, interested to contribute, but they know that you have a solid strategy. And so how compelling is your team reminds you a lot about relevance that I think you've treated a lot already in here. Oftentimes we are focused on, business as usual, as Matthew said this morning about, stepping out of your comfort zone. But sometimes the activities that feel very compelling to you because they are in your YMCA, they might not feel as compelling to people outside. So of course, when you choose the more relevant, socially relevant, the cause you choose, the more people will be willing to donate to you. According to who you choose. If you choose to campaign to the general public, then your cause needs to be very, 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 very relevant. And so as people said, the sport yard in the countryside might look less sexy, let's say, than children in need who don't have presents for Christmas or homeless people who don't have food for Easter. But as Martina said, there's durability. If I may say, building a sport yard in the countryside might not look as important, but what I wanted to say that the group 3 did a brilliant job, had the good soundbite. What probably we wanted to hear there and would help a lot is we need to tell that the countryside does not have as many services as urban centers, and kids in the countryside don't have opportunities sometimes to have fancy sports to do or a space, and a lot of things don't come to them because the rural areas have less services. So this place could really change their lives, get some people interested in sports they wouldn't do otherwise, get them out of the, you know, the common square where they would be just hanging out, and get them focused on something healthy. So it really depends who you're talking to and who is listening, and why do they donate. And I'd say probably you want to address both, but for different people, you should have a different strategy. And I guess all of you looked at different things, and you covered it all. I think you were all good, and your presentations are so professional. So yeah, it's really good.
Thank you, Elena. Yeah. Any other thoughts? Anything else that you find appealing or not very attractive that we shouldn't use next time in real life?
Just one more short thought was in a group 2, what I really liked was that they were also thinking about not asking only for money. And this is very important because there are different means how to support your project. And they were saying like, okay, they ask people to donate the food directly, or the shops to provide them the food which was not used, or the restaurants and so on. This is very important because there are many organizations and people who may not have money, but they may have other resources. And this is important to collect the other resources as well.
Oh, yes. So
and
true.
one more thing, if you allow me.
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Martina was talking about the long-term results, long-term outcomes. And on the one hand, it may seem that like one group was lucky to get a playground or a sports yard project that is a long-term project, and others were not that lucky because it was like a one-time event. But on the other hand, we can always see a perspective like how this project, this one-time event may turn into a long-term project, and what long-term outcomes it may have. And both Christmas gifts for kids and Easter dinner for homeless, it may become an ongoing, like yearly project, or you may show how which long-term results it may have, even if you organize it once, how it will influence the people who you are dealing with, your target group, in the long run. And I think it's a very important focus to underline the long-term results, even though you may do a one-time event, you may organize a one-time thing, but it always has some long-term outcomes. It's important to make them visible.
Yeah, thank you, Tina. And this is good that you underlined that the projects were different. And so the strategies were different. This is to fundraise here for one-time event, like dinner, and to construct the center, like the fundraising strategy should be different indeed. Thank you.
Tina is very right. If you think of a practical example, there's the Sleep Easy that is organized in the YMCAs in England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland. I think it might look like a one-off activities, but it's been done for years now.
Thank you.
But this is exactly what I said that the group 1 made. In my point, it was that they didn't understand the task only to collect the money to buy the presents, but also some kind of raising some kind of advocacy campaign, why there is a problem, and how somehow finding the solution, how to sort it in the future.
Exactly, which leads to high level of sustainability. I loved creativity as well. I think those campaigns which included creativity, they're more appealing. They were, at least to me, they were more appealing. Like inviting some cook, for example, and making some masterclass. And also, I think that inviting celebrities is a good approach. So that for many people, this is quite important to hear when celebrities are talking about the projects. Yeah, that might work. I think that in the current work of TikTok, Instagram, this is what is working.
Yeah, this is exactly what I said. The support is not only financial, it's also other means. And if you just, the celebrity doesn't need to contribute with money so much, but just that he or she appears there is a big and valuable contribution.
Yeah, thank you.
I think the only thing that I would probably say is I'm quite, well, I like to think that I'm quite a simple guy. And I think the creativity part of it is great because you're going to stand out. And if a funder has got all this money and they've got all these people coming to them asking for money, they're going to be a bit tired hearing lots of information. So use your creativity, stand out from the crowd, but also for me anyway, when I'm putting in applications or whatever, I like to keep it quite simple, straight to the point, so they can read it quickly and go, I know exactly what this person's asking for and why, and so on. But how we do that creatively, for example, I've said to many young people that I'm working with when they're applying for jobs, is an employer will sit there with 50 different CVs on his desk or on her desk. The way that you're going to guarantee your CV gets read first or opened first is if you put it in a green or a pink envelope. So you can imagine all of these white envelopes sitting on an employer's desk. He's going to pick up the green one first because he's going to wonder, what is this? And it's your CV. So even small things like that can help guarantee that you're ahead of the game.
Cool tip. Yeah, thank you. Is there anything what you are missing in this list of lessons learned? Any thoughts, feelings? Yeah, thank you again for your presentations. And the last thing at this part is what we want to do is to sum up, yeah, different ways of fundraising. We have been talking, like you have named a lot of them already, but let's really sum up them and see if we haven't mentioned any. Martina, is there anything that we have forgotten about completely? Your microphone.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, of course. We have been talking mostly right now about private donations, but I would like to summarize now how the overall means of fundraising and where you can ask or you can get funding from. I will just let me share the presentation. Very short one, don't worry. Here it goes.
Yes, we can see it.
Mm-hmm. So I put where do I get funding to 4 boxes so far. We have been talking quite a lot about private donations, which is quite, let's say, the most usual way of funding the NGOs. However, you also have to say that the private donations are usually in a relatively small amounts. It means that you really have to have a lot of people to collect funds for your activities. So there are collections we have talking about. You can collect cash on the streets. There are a lot of charity events, and you mentioned especially bingo, auction, charity runs, masterclass, which is a very interesting idea. Then, for example, I don't know, bazaars or even concerts, to organize a concert, collect money. This is the most usual event in YMCA, what we do. We have not been talking about the membership fees, but I would add it to the list because this is a very important mean of fundraising of the organization. In many YMCAs, this is a kind of little bit controversial issue if we should collect membership fees or not. But I would say anyway, this is a very important mean of fundraising because, for example, if you have 100 members and you ask them to pay €1 per month, it means 12 euros per year, then you have already 1,200 euros per year to spend for your activities, which is definitely considerable amount. So this is a very important mean of fundraising are the membership fees. Then there are, for example, the services which the YMCA is selling, the charity shops or paid services. Very usual in many YMCAs, they are earning money by doing the services. It means that, for example, in the USA, they are having the swimming pools and the gyms, and there are business people coming, paying for doing the fitness or swimming, and then they are using those money for their YMCA charitable purposes. So this is about the private donations. Then we have the other organizations who can give you money or other resources. It's usually the churches, foundations, or other NGO. Even the YMCA is giving resources. So in many cases, the YMCA gives you money, gives grant opportunities to get, I don't know, stipendiums or covers a stay for you for short term in the YMCA hostel or this kind of support. So the organizations can give you the funds and resources. Then we have a government. And government, you have to remember that it's on very different levels. It means local or municipality, regional, and then the state government, which is usually the youth ministry or Ministry of Social Affairs, where the YMCAs ask for money. It's the most common because we are the youth organization and we are doing the social work. And then we have European organizations and international organizations, I would add as well. And then then we have the businesses where we can ask for the sponsorship or appeal to the businesses for social responsibility culture. The sponsorship is more, let's say, the approach like we give you money, but you have to give us something back, some kind of promotion, or you have to use our products, or and so on. While it's right now, it's a little bit more fashionable, the approach like social responsibility culture, which means that the businesses already realize that they have to do something for the local community. And they do not necessarily need something in return for this activity. So this is a kind of summary where you can ask for funding. Of course, you can maybe come with other sources as well. This is not limited, and you can be creative. As there are also the new things like the crowdfunding and many online activities which are running, but I would say that this is also some kind of private donations, but in a little bit different form. So last advice on the in the end is, where to start. I would say probably you have to look first at the scale of your project. Usually, if there is a local project with a local income, start to look at the local and municipal level first. Then it is relatively relevant to look again at the private donation, because the people in the surrounding get to know you very well, and they know what you are doing, so you may be really successful there. And local government is relevant for your project. Look at the local businesses and local organizations you can partner with. When then there is a regional project, start to look at the regional level first, and then you see what you find there. The same with the national or international projects. Probably you will be the most successful on the level you are working on. of course, there are the exceptions. Always there are the exceptions you have to remember. There are some European funds which are, for example, supporting the local project as well. But as a general rule, I would say it is very useful to start on the level you are working on. So.
Thank you, Martina. Do you have any questions to Martina? All right. So we are finishing the part about fundraising. So if you have any questions or any immediate feedback, like what's in your mind now, so please, the floor is yours. You can switch your mic on and speak.
Really interesting and useful, I think.
Thank you.
The group work was a great idea to put into practice everything that we read on STEPIC and just to get to know about experiences of other participants.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Natalia.
I think for me, my learning after doing fundraising is that it's linked into devotional. It's just be bold. I remember my boss saying, there's loads of money out there. They're just in the wrong pockets. So we just need to go and get that money. So just, yes, it's a lot of money you're asking for, but funders, they're there to give the money out. It's just down to you to convince them that this is a good option for them to give it out to. Yeah.
Thank you, Matthew. Yeah.
I totally second Matthew. Often I've heard a lot of YMCA saying, oh, this looks a bit out of our reach, even though it's something that, as Martina said, is at their level, either national or regional or local. But as Matthew said, there's already other people that probably do activities that are less relevant than yours, less youth-led, less anchored in the territory. But because they're the only ones that have the courage to go for it, they're the only ones getting it. So I think we undermine ourselves a lot in the YMCA. We don't know how good we are and the impact we can give. And I think lots of times donors just read what we can do and they marvel and they're like, okay, wow, there's a new player and this is what I wanted to see. So yeah, get out there and try, because as I said in my presentation, just to have another Italian saying, chi non risica non rosica. Those who do not risk, they do not get anything either. But for applying for funding, the risk is generally small. It's like you apply, you fail, and you have lost the time that you spent on the application for sure. But sometimes the application is so short that really it's a risk that is worth taking.
Yeah, thank you. All right, thank you so much for this session, for your very active participation. And we are going to the break now. And when we meet after, we will continue working in the same group with the same topics. And we will work with the topics of negotiations. And you will have the opportunity to find actually partners for your projects, for your campaigns, so to reach the results that you have. And we will tell you all the details later when we meet in 30 minutes. Yeah. So you can switch your, Martina, you are still sharing the screen. So you can switch your microphones and cameras, but please stay here, stay connected. Enjoy your meal. Lessons we have learned, and we will continue working in the same groups with the same topics. Agnes, you will join one of the groups and they will explain you. And the task and the procedure will be the following. So first, you will need to elaborate the strategies for negotiations. Because you are going to have 4 meetings ahead of you. Let me show you whom you are going to meet. So you are going to meet representatives of business. You are going to meet representatives of another youth organization, not YMCA, some different one, but they are working with young people as well. You are going to meet the university in your city and the local authority or government. So at the first stage, yeah, you will meet in your groups, and for 10 minutes you will think actually what you are asking for. And we highly recommend you to think not about money. It's just if nothing comes up to your mind, of course you can ask for money as well. It's not prohibited, but please try to negotiate for any other resources. And our tip is to be very clear in understanding what you are asking whom. Okay, then in 10 minutes, the partners will appear in your room, and you will have 10 minutes for negotiations. Hopefully successful, maybe not, it will depend. Yeah, then partners will leave the room, and you will have 5 minutes to prepare for the next meeting. Yeah, and then it will be repeated. Yeah, so a different partner will join the room. Do you have any questions about the task and about the procedure? No questions? Perfect, yeah. Then I'm opening the rooms so dear trainers, you will appear in the rooms, but please leave them so far. So 10 minutes, the groups can work independently, preparing for the negotiations. Here we go. Agnes, I will move you to group number 1.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Welcome back. How do you feel?
It was really stressful to do the negotiations.
Stressful, yeah. Please show some reaction by your face or by, yeah. Yeah, shocked, stressed. Okay, so actually now the floor is open. Please raise the hands or just speak up. So this is important now that you tell how you felt, and also tell if your group managed to reach the results that you planned. Were you successful in your negotiations? Please share how you feel.
I think the only one that we have a bit more difficulties was Cash Money Casino, because they wanted to own us and give us like a gift card. But I think otherwise we kind of had good discussions and negotiations.
So mostly successful, yeah?
Mm.
But you thought stressful.
Yeah, because it's surprisingly for us in the sports area, we come to us business like a casino. It's not near with the sport, maybe just a sport poker. It's maybe for one sandwich connected. Also for me today was one of the best negotiator. It's Nia, and and also it was very useful to see how all people want to help you, but not now. We must think, we have no time, or what benefits for us, and you must to show the people that our goals and are common, that it will be reward and benefit for both of us, and not like for the youth people, for the university or other participants and partnerships in this project. And
Exactly.
it was very useful for me.
Yeah, exactly. All have their needs and the interests. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, any other feelings? Yeah, let's talk about like first emotions now. Like, how do you feel? And then we will reflect. Yeah, Tula, please.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty stressful and not very easy. So in other words, pretty hard to come up with kind of compelling arguments. And I felt that all the negotiators were pretty demanding, and which is obviously good. But I think our team did really well. And I think we also kind of achieved mostly what we were looking for. So stressful, but I guess in a sense also rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but with good results. Yeah, thank you. Please, yeah, Agnes.
At first it was very difficult, also because I just joined, so I was a little bit confused. I didn't know exactly which was our project about, but then we managed to deal with that. So while the first two supporters were more difficult to convince, and we were more in difficulty to explain our project and our ideas, it became way easier to negotiate with the last two entities.
Mm-hmm.
So we got used to negotiate in a sense.
Yeah, and you were more clear with the idea, of course. Yeah, thank you, Juliet.
Yeah, thanks. I would like to share my small, I don't know, like how to say it. It's something that surprised me, basically, because I've never even thought that it's that important. But when we were starting the negotiation, the whole meeting and greeting and making the open the opposite side feel like welcomed and feel that it's important. So that the whole like skill and that thing is really important in the negotiating process, and that's why I'm like really grateful to Lina that she was doing that every time and so gracefully, because that's not something that I was even thinking about, but that was like a huge help with making the other side felt better towards us.
Yeah, thank you. So anyone who wants to share emotions, feelings at this moment? Yeah, Natalia, please.
There was one really challenging moment when the business appeared, Cash Money Casino. So we did not know what kind of business it would be and what we can offer to that business, how we can both benefit from our partnership, or what the business will offer to us, what we can offer to the business. And I somehow got stuck at this moment, but Nea was really brilliant. She figured out like really fast thinking. That's what's important in negotiation, to find the way out of the tough situation and to find the necessary words to persuade the other side, to make both sides satisfied with the common decision.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, looks like you are talking about not just feelings, but also you already announcing some lessons learned, yeah, what worked well, what didn't work well. So let's now then think together and brainstorm about do's and don'ts on negotiations, about negotiations. So what we need to do and what we better not. And again, Matthew, I will ask your help and I will share the screen so we all can see. Yeah, so now let's speak in terms of the things that we have done in an excellent way, yeah, what worked well and what better not to do next time.
Can I start?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, first thing, we need to know, we need to prepare, we need information of the company, of the university, like the laws in the particular city, the dates that we are making our project, the amount of people that we're expecting. We need to prepare like particular database on other side and on the side of our partner, the ones we are speaking to.
Oh, yes, so much agree. We need to prepare, we need to study long. Thank you.
We need to prepare also our presentation. That's,
Well, you must find
Please, that was Olga who started speaking. Olga, please speak up. We cannot hear you well.
We need to prepare also our presentation and be clear what we're gonna do and for what, which is our target group, and that's kind of that for our donors will be that clear for what and which type of partnership and collaboration we would like to have.
Yeah, thank you. So Juliet was speaking that we need to study, and investigate, everything about whom we are going to meet. And you are speaking that we need to prepare our presentation very thoroughly and to be ready to answer any question.
May I add a word here?
Sure.
Because maybe it was my bad luck, but none of the three groups started their presentations with the words who they are. They all were saying, we are preparing a Christmas gift, or Easter presents, or Easter dinner, or a playground, or a sports yard, or whatever not, but none of them started their presentation with saying, we are a group of young people, we are called this and that, we do this and that, we're working with this and that. And I think that's an important part of a self-presentation, starting with telling who you are.
Oh, yes. Thank you for this note.
I have to support Tina, because I also started always at least with few words who I am, and you have to start the same. First, tell who you are and what kind of organization, because this is not what you cannot take for granted that the person who is meeting with us knows about your organization. So even if the time was limited, so I was not insisting, but please start first saying who we are and then what the project is about.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so more reflections.
May I make a comment?
Let's just, I would suggest, that those who were just in the shoes of civil society organizations, so I think that it's better we listen to them first, because I'm sure that we all have a lot to say, and we will do it a little bit later. So any other learnings, any other do's and don'ts?
I think one would be to kind of stick to your ground on what you want, and not to kind of say yes to everything that the partner suggests, but think about your other other partners, and also think about your goal and everything. So not to kind of agree on everything, to kind of keep your ground on what you were planning to do. But of course, in some sense, need to be flexible, but to not go like overboard with agreeing with the partner.
Thank you, Nea. Yes. I think that I know what you are talking about meeting with whom.
Can I say something? But
please.
I don't think how it's like positive. I think it's more negative thing. It's just I've learned that it's not bad to lie at those sort of things, because when you don't know what to say, because you actually don't know what to say. Okay, so I can make it less negative than I've started. So not lying, but making it more abstract, not telling concrete over particular numbers, particular days, just a big amount of people, a big amount of money, a big group, and somewhere far ahead, this celebration waiting for us. Yeah, and also when the opposite side tells something, just to how to say it, to be flexible for them, but that's a good thing. I mean, that we can put in dues, but in not sort of a yes, oh, we can be flexible for you, but of like, oh, and also we all need you to wearing I don't know, green t-shirts. Oh, that's our uniform actually, like in this sort of thing, which is not really, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, thank you.
Realistic, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Juliet. Do you agree with this?
Actually, yes, I was going to intervene and say almost the same things that Juliet said. So one of them is kind of being, knowing where you want to arrive, so knowing your goal, but don't put all your cards on the table, because then you can kind of don't give opportunity for further options, sort of. That's one of them. The other one is about not giving specifics, and also when you kind of are in a struggle. We had this situation with Elenia. She came with a lot of demands, and we said just we are going to get back to you on this, because we have to discuss with the other team members. So don't say yes or no, but kind of leave it open, and then see later, because otherwise you can eliminate the possibility of a collaboration.
Yeah, I agree with this second part and with what Nea was speaking, that you needed to keep like to your goals. Yeah, but I would suggest that we discuss like this first part, yeah, because this is not just, I'm a little bit hesitant about it. So do you all agree that we better like hide our interests and keep abstract and make a good image that we agree about everything?
No, I rather disagree. Yeah, because for some moments we can't be so specific, but we as an organizer, we should know what we're gonna do and should like imagine more or less the details, and that's pursue other side for help, and that's how other side can be sure that we know what we're gonna do. So that's important, I guess. I think.
One thing on this, one of my groups kind of doctored reality a little bit, because it would have been difficult. And I would say that one thing is, if I'm not sure of something, I can keep vague. But for example, I was told that they allied with a business that produced food, which is not what the business does, because I think my group felt that the values of my organization would conflict with the business. The problem is this can lead you to some serious issues later, especially because we discussed logos and etc. So you might need to say, I don't know this, or say, I'll get back to you, but never, ever hide something that can be quite big, like other partners or things like that, because then you might cause rift between the partners, and that can, it's something you don't need.
Can I say?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Firstly, oh, I forgot. Okay. So the about don't ever lie, I guess it's just because this whole situation is theatrical. It's
Absolutely.
not like
Yes.
in real life. That's why that is why this whole happened. The Olga's comment about like we need to know what we are doing particularly, that brings us to the first point that we wrote down, that we need to prepare, and based on that we will know that we actually standing for. And about what Martina told, yes, in real life we should not do that. But in those situations in which we were now, like in kind of role play game, that happens, and that's the only some kind of way to win, I guess.
Yeah, I understand, Julia, what you are talking about. Definitely, these were artificial situations. You couldn't be prepared. You didn't know who the business was. And of course, just to look more confident, yeah, you had to say, yeah, sure, we investigated all the information at your web pages. Yes, sure. Yeah, but if we are talking about real life, like, of course, like transparency is one of the key values in partnership. So, and this is the key value in almost in any civil society organization. So, and this is something to keep to and to promote. And if you are not very transparent, if you are trying to create a good image, saying yes to everything, it will help you at this first meeting. But this is a bad strategy for a long-term relationships, because any lie will always be discovered. So, and the relationships will be broken. Okay, so let's continue. Any other do's and don'ts?
Yeah, can I have a remark?
Sure.
Again, about the preparation. As for example, me as a local authority, or Tina as a university, these are the big institutions. They always have a lot of information, and they have their own strategies how to deal with the partnership. Study them on the website. This is what I also said you as a local authority. They have they always have some kind of rules, internal rules, which kind of support they can provide. Also be prepared that if you have this kind of negotiation, they will not be ready to decide right there, because there is a bureaucracy, and you have to, usually it's this kind of meeting, it's if they close the door or not, or but very rarely they really decide on the spot, and you have to present in the way that they really are convinced that they would like to cooperate with you, and you don't close the door behind you. Also, you have to come with concrete idea what do you want. I'm sorry, you just cannot say like whatever may be, I don't know. You have to at least to have some proposal, and to have concretely in your mind what do you want. Of course, you have to be flexible, and you have to listen to them what they can provide you, because it's a negotiation. It's not a one-way presentation, and they say yes or no. You have to find the common points. So this is the aim of the negotiation, is to find where you can meet. So suggest something, they suggest something else, try to negotiate. That's it.
Thank you.
Can I say something about telling yes and no's?
Please, yeah.
Don't tell yes to everything. Because, for example, when the casino came to us and asked about how would we be okay with putting their logo, we actually told something like, we will return with the answer to you like later. We will talk to the brand manager and stuff like that, because you can ruin everything by talking yourself into things that you were not planning, and just told yes when you were not supposed to.
And let's discuss this casino thing, because it was a little bit provocative. Yeah, you can understand it. So in real life, like, would you go to casino as a partner if you know that they will sponsor, they will give you money, and you will build the sport ground, or just you will collect all needed money for dinners for people without home? Is it a good partner? Nikas, what do you think?
So I would personally not, because I mean it's about reputation, I think, because I mean in the case of casinos specifically, there are a lot of people who actually for us that have the project about homeless people. I mean, it's kind of quite the opposite, because a lot of people lose their houses and their like, you know, their money, their ways to live their life in casinos. So I mean, personally, yeah, I wouldn't go there.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I would agree with you. So because, like, as we were discussing last time, values, yeah, this is the basis for any civil society organizations. And when I was laughing a bit when I could hear that some of the group was agreeing to put all their logos. Yes, and partnering. So that was interesting to see civil society organization promoting cash casino, who are actually, yeah, creators of quite many social problems. Yeah, so this is tricky. So it is better to think about, like, values when you are choosing this or that partner. Please keep it in mind.
But
All
Nikos
right.
looked at it in a very right way, because even more important is the cause that you're working for. So if your cause is in direct conflict with one of the funders, that is, you know, something that could really damage your image. And these days, you know, you can be called out on social media very easily. But for example, if you're just promoting a schoolyard, and as a youth organization, maybe you're more focused on sports and things like that, that direct conflict is less visible. But of course, if you're working for homeless people, that conflict is huge. So you need to also, you know, balance out the different pros and cons.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Can I add something else?
Yes, please.
Sorry. I think also that it would hurt our reputation, like in long term, because for example, like in my country at least, whenever something like that happens and you see somebody like cooperating with businesses that are you know, ambiguous on some areas, then it can be a cause for rumors. So basically, rumors can destroy an organization, because if the public opinion is always against you, then you won't be able to do anything in you know, in future events or stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. Or a couple of publications, yeah, about this topic.
Yeah, well, sorry, well, just one more comment for me as a local authority. It would be also interesting to hear about your partnerships, and this is what I want to point that the last group also included in their presentation, that they are negotiated or they are having a support from university and other organizations. This really gives a credibility to your project if you partnership with other organizations. They may not know your organization in the city, but they may know the university definitely. And if so please mention this. Of course, I know that partnership with the casino may not really help to your image. So I would really consider if to go to this partnership, especially with the homeless project, where many people could have some kind of problem with gambling in the past and so on. So this is definitely not something that should be presented.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you.
Can I provide some advocacy for Diavolo?
Yeah, please go ahead.
It's just the situation, unfortunately, really common in real life. Unfortunately, for example, in our context, in the Russian context, I don't know. In the situation where the government is not really helping, is not really helpful, and actually sometimes will do everything not to not to support, but really to destroy the project. And the project is like really crucial. The project, I know, is like making shelters for animals that are out there, and it's winter is coming, and we need to like to make this now, or all of them are gonna die simply. And the casino is not like, the logo of the casino is not on our like anywhere. Why can't we take that money for that purpose when we know that government won't help us, and we know that the support of just good people around us will take too long, and this money will help to save lives.
Yeah, so you are raising two issues here. So the first, like, this is the value, the item of value is considerate about any partner. If you have the government which is not supportive, which is not democratic, which doesn't share your values, just you can discuss in your organizations if to partner with them or not, if to take money from them or not. And the second question, this is something you not to take for granted. Yeah, this is a discussion of every organization, to which foundation to apply, to which not to apply, with which kind of donor to have partnership and with whom not. Because this is, and every case should be discussed and not taken for granted. Yeah, this is important. So it is not so easy. And thank you, Juliet, so much that you are asking this question, illustrating that this is not always ethically easy to decide. Yeah, let's touch some other issues if something was not mentioned. Yeah, because I'm looking at watch, we have approximately like 5 minutes to discuss it.
I think for our team, like because apparently we were like a Christian organization, and when we discussed with Ilenia, and she was representing this Jewish scout group, but I was quite agreeable with Ilenia because I think their motive was like good. They were like, yeah, we will raise like a discussion between religions. Is it okay if we have like a rabbi blessing the sports yard with your priest? And I was like, sure, why not? So I think like it was really easy to agree with Ilenia because many of the things that she mentioned, she also kind of backed up with like values that I also agree with. So yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting because Elenia actually asked much more than, than suggested, but she was so nice that she managed to do it ideally, that you even haven't noticed it.
Yeah, one thing I tried to kind of, because when she asked if there will be a media on the place, that if they can be interviewed, I was like, yeah, but maybe we can interview just like your volunteers, maybe not like represent. I was trying to kind of to sneak it so in that way that Ilenia is a bit smaller partner because she was not with us so much, that maybe like we interview her volunteers and our like management so that she is part of it, but she is kind of visible in the way that she also is working for the project.
Yeah, thank you. So let's ask the partners, yeah? So let's ask Matthew, Tina, Martina, Elenia. So any other observations that haven't been mentioned yet? What we need to put do's and don'ts?
I'd say, well, I think it has been said, but to go further, some of you said research your partner, yes, but also research what they can give. Some of you, I mentioned that we're a local organization, but we're also connected to the national, as some of you were running national campaigns, but you didn't think as next step as saying, oh, then can you then give us also the support of your national group to spread the campaign also at the national level. But then you agreed to have us as co-people. So like that, then that's where you gain the problem of lack of equilibrium in the partnership, because of course, you have to think about your image. This is your campaign, and every campaign, it achieves something like Christmas presence, the dinner, but also it contributes to make you see as a valuable organization in your community, and more young people will like to volunteer with you after they see this. But then if your image is taken over by your partner, that's problematic. And especially if then you're not asking enough from the partner to justify this huge presence. So I would say really look at what you want, what you can ask from the partner. Not, no make crazy requests, but definitely something they can do, and make them use their network as well, of course. So that's something that you should think of probably. But as you said, you have to think on your feet. So absolutely kudos to you for everything that you managed. Some of you, you held your own pretty well, in saying, oh, wait a minute, we're going to ask our manager, we're going to, come back to you. That was great. But at the same time, this is very realistic. When you work with other NGOs, they're not going to be threatening, and they're not going to be closed off. They're going to be like you when you share a lot of values, but that's where you have to pay attention to the balance in the partnership.
Yeah, thank you, Elenia. Tina, any observations?
Yes, quite a few things have been already mentioned, but I think I wanted to underline two things: one do and one don't. As for do's, there are never too many gratitudes. Like, it's important to say, there was one group that said, thank you for your time. That was something they started with, like, thank you for finding time for the meeting. And this is a very important thing to do. Like, never forget to say thank you, even if you think this is something obvious and that everybody should be so passionate about your project that they should queue for giving you money and other resources. Anyway, it's important to say thank you, even for some small things that you get from others. And as for the don'ts, there was one group telling me quite, well, I wouldn't say aggressively, but insisting on what I should do. Like, you should give us this and that, you shouldn't, your students should do this and that. And just emotionally, it doesn't sound like something you want to be part of. It's great when you have a clear vision of what you can get from this or that partner, but the wording is also important. So keep in mind the way you are putting things. It's great that you investigated and that you know what actually you can get from your partner, but it's important. The way how you put it is also very important.
Thank you, Tina. Matthew, any feedback from your side?
Yeah, there's a few, but I'll just keep it kind of short, I think. I think I said this to every group, I purposely chose the casinos because it does bring that, like Nico said, do we actually want to partner with these guys? Yes, they're sitting with millions of pounds or whatever, but is it a good idea? So I was glad to have that conversation. But I think similar to what people have said, two things. Judgment is a huge thing when it comes to negotiations. So imagine you're walking into the manager's office, the person that's going to consider yes or no, they're going to judge you immediately. So your first impressions are huge. So that comes into the pleasantries, the gratitude, and if you're excited about your project, they are going to listen because they're going to spend a lot of their time focusing on you as a person, even before they then focus on what you're doing. If you're talking about you've got the plan to make poverty history, but you're talking about it in such a boring, unenthusiastic way, they're probably going to think, even if he's got the solution to poverty being history, I just don't trust this person. I don't think he's the person to do it, so I'm not going to partner with him. So I think that's important. The other thing I would say as well is one of my groups, I think when you realize that my scenario was quite specific, you openly highlighted that you were out of your depth. So at that time, if I'm the partner hearing, oh, these guys are out of their depth, I've immediately lost trust in that group. So I think even if you are a wee bit out of your depth, use some of the things that we noted about. If you don't have the answer to that question, oh, I'll get back to you. And but don't put your right foot forward. put your best foot forward rather than talking yourself down when you're wanting to be talking yourself up.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. I so much agree with it, especially with passion. Yeah, the passion about the project is so important. Martina.
Yeah, just two small details about one group. There was only one person speaking. So why there are 5 people? So as a decoration or so. So maybe it would be nice if you bring more people to the meeting, give them the word to show the passion, and because it's a little bit, weird when only one person is speaking and there are 5 people. And yeah, in the other group, there was one person arguing, and the second one was like, no, this is not what we are going to say. I know that maybe you were not prepared so well that it can happen, but never show that you disagree with your partner. Maybe you can later on to add something, but please do not show it like this. These are the details, but in general, as I was a local government, in general, I would really try to find the partners and support you to if somebody is organizing a social project which is beneficial for the city. The local authorities in let's say normal countries will try to do their best to support you, so they really would negotiate with you. So you just have to find some common stance. So I was really trying to be very cooperative and give you also suggestions of the cooperation. So I do not think that this is so difficult to negotiate with the city. Problem is that you have to convince the local authority that you are not more trouble than the benefit. So try to prepare everything so they see that you are not bringing them troubles. This is important because sometimes, yeah, there are very many events which could be even called a social event, interesting ones, but if they bring troubles with security, with the police, with the hygiene or medical aid, it's a disaster for the city. So this is what they really would like to know from your side, that you are your logistics is perfect.
Can I?
Thank you.
Of course, prove it later. You don't have to do it. You can provide these proofs later, but still, please think about this and convince the local authorities that your logistics is great and you are going to manage the project well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so last comments, really last hot comments, please, Juliet.
Yeah, it's just really a practical question, I guess. In the moment when I was like, no, don't say that, because it was like crucial. It's like when the I can tell what it was. We asked, we did not ask. We said that in order to actually have that marathon, we need to close main roads for a few hours. And it's like a really big thing, and it's thing that we actually didn't need to have. And I, as thinking about the person who just heard that, I was like, whoa, guys, you're really like, I don't know, thinking a lot about yourselves. That's why I was like, no, we don't need that much. We can make it anywhere else. It's just like we need $1 million and the helicopter, and you're saying that we no, actually don't. Like, should I like, I don't know, should I just sitting there and be like, yes, close the main roads for a few hours, why not?
There are like very skillful way you can do it. You let your partners finish, and then you say, actually, to elaborate on that, we can also say that as an alternative, we can do it in this way. We understand it's a big it's a big endowment, but absolutely we are open to possibilities, and we know this and we know that. So there's definitely ways to, there's no need to stop the person who talked before. There's no need to, say, oh, disregard what they said. You can, make it more precise, and that the person who's listening to you would be like, oh, they know that what they asked was big, and they know what else can they do to make it easier? You know, they won't think it's a big faux pas. They understand there's 5 people and 5 brains in there. And so definitely people have different communication styles, but you can smooth the corners after people have talked.
Yeah. Thank you so much. As you see, we so already have YMCA Malta people joining us. Yes, so we would like to thank you for the session about negotiations. Yeah, and Anthony, if you and your team allows 2-3 minutes break, yeah, because so we are just fresh and don't disappear. Yeah, so let's do very quick break, and then we will go to YMCA Malta. So thank you so much for being quick. And I'm happy to give the floor to Anthony, who has organized a virtual visit to YMCA Malta together with the team. Anthony, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Olga. Virtual visit is the first time I'm doing it, so I'm a little bit like, I have windows open and links that I want to share to you, so I'm a little bit on the edge. So, YMCA Malta, where do I start from? I think I will start from a particular project, which was 2 years ago, a project which we have called Strengthening the Y. Because this project was particularly, it had to do with the branding process. Particularly because in Malta, YMCA was known as YMCA Valletta or else YMCA Homeless. And we created this project, and we came up with this idea that we needed to have some kind of branding. We needed to name YMCA as YMCA Malta, as we know, YMCA France, YMCA Germany, YMCA. We wanted to be like the rest of Europe. And I think that my energy, or at least my energy, let's say energy, it all started from the Leadership Academy, this course that you are all doing, because 2 years ago I was one of the participants, and my main project was about this. And we work hard on it, so I took this project back home, I presented it to the board, and we continue to work on it together as a team. And today YMCA Malta has 4 particular programs. Together with me, there are the team leaders of these different 4 programs. I will not say anything about them because they will present it, they will explain what they do. What I want to mention in my introduction is that the mission statement of YMCA in Malta is about bringing social justice in all that we do, to promoting a more just society. So it's about, we have mentioned, I don't know, the homeless activity, for example, throughout the whole day. So it's about bringing social justice to homeless people or to vulnerable communities that we meet in our work. We work with a lot of beneficiaries. We have a lot of people that we meet throughout our day, not only homeless people, but also victims and survivors of domestic violence, families that are in difficulty, stranded travelers or unemployed people. But what I want to do is I want to share with you a link, which I will put in the chat. Let me do it. This is a link for our annual report. We haven't finished the report of last year, but there you will have more information on what we do. And now I will leave the floor to, I think, Dorian. Dorian.
And Anthony, while we are giving the floor, do you think we can have a quick look from the windows?
Yes,
so
yes. It's the 2019 report, because we're still working on last year's one. I can't see Dorian. Is Dorian there? I think with Dorothy, no? No?
I can start if you want until Dorian.
Let's give them a little bit of time until they have a look at the link.
No, Frank, I meant the view from your window, so we can feel the atmosphere of Malta and can appear there.
Oh, the view of my window.
Yes, please,
no.
sure.
My staff will complain now because they have never seen this view. I don't know.
We could be there. I hope now you are not very sad, but at least you could see a piece.
This is not my home stuff, though.
Thank you.
I have this view
now
every
we
day.
are in Malta. Now we are in Malta.
You are in Malta. I don't know where Dorian is. Dorian, I think
I'm here.
You're there.
I can't turn on my camera. Just give me a second. Sorry.
Maybe Dorothy, you can start your bit and speak about a concept we have came up with last year.
So I can start. So hi, good afternoon. I'm Dorothy, as I told you. I worked at the YMCA shelter for more than 12 years and currently working as a fundraiser. I'm also a volunteer working on the loneliness line. So something I'm going to talk to you about. So basically, this helpline, which we call Loneliness Response Line, was a response to COVID-19 spreading in Malta last March, in all the world, not only in Malta. We thought that loneliness and solitude symptoms might arise from restrictions and social alienation, like restaurants were closing, bars were closing, gyms were closing. So our support team and volunteers started offering telephone calls to the community members in need of someone to talk to. So the aim really was to assist those who are feeling lonelier than usual during these times, where I think everybody had those moments that we felt more anxious than usual or more lonely than usual. But unfortunately, there are some people who get it worse, like they were alone or they were in an environment where they didn't felt safe. So those who are feeling isolated or who felt the need to speak to someone. I must admit that this line helped me personally as well. I realized that around us there are individuals who suffered in silence for years. And I was really surprised about those people who are lonely, even though they are not alone. Like I had telephone calls from individuals who are staying with a family of 6 people, and they still felt the need to call us and to talk with us, like telling us what are they going to cook or the book they are reading. And that hits me a lot because it felt strange to me. I was saying, like, so these people are living with other members of the family or with their partners, and they still felt the need to call us. So then, in relation to the well-being project that Dorian will speak to after me, when we realized that there is a need of a professional psychological support, callers are being referred to our psychotherapeutic services. So last year we had over 900 telephone interventions. Most of the calls were related to loneliness and anxiety, domestic violence, and mental health issues. We had even past clients like calling from time to time just to say hello, to say thank you, to check on us, because sometimes they do it. They check on us to say how, like, to check if we're going okay, if we're feeling fine. So these calls, it's very nice for us, like, to receive these calls, because we feel that they are still connected with us. So finally, my message is that during this time, we really need to be kind to ourselves. We need to take care of our mental health and of our well-being. And also to not be afraid to reach out. Because I really learned from this line, as I told you, that sometimes we're really afraid. We're afraid to ask for help. We're afraid to say the truth to a family member. And I think in these times, difficult for everyone, we need to understand more each other, to feel more empathy for each other. So basically that's it. And I really think that we're doing a lot with this line. Like, we had some people calling us every day, and they're still calling us after a year just for a chat, just for a friendly chat, because they have no one to talk to. That's all.
Dorian.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all. My name is Dorian, and I am the team leader of the Wellbeing Program, which Dorothy already mentioned some of the work we do through that program. So the program started way back in 2016, when we started with providing counseling and psychotherapy services to our clients who are availing from our residential service program. In 2017, we've started offering the same service to members within the community. So anyone from Malta or Gozo could avail of counseling or psychotherapy. And through this, we reached out more people, basically. Since then, the service has been growing. And today, we've got a team of 6 volunteers and a part-time counselor who are managing the whole program, basically. And we are providing more than 500 sessions to different individuals a year. We operate the service from different parts of the island. In fact, right now I'm talking to all of you from the most recent facility that we've acquired, which we are still sort of setting up. It's almost already. I'll be going around as I talk, so you get an idea of the whole setting. So basically, we've got the kitchen and an area, and then there's a downstairs area where we hold therapy sessions, and also we are holding to all residential program. Part of what we do as the well-being program is also raising awareness, which we do through different means, through workshops and talks to both professionals and also people from the general public. And which we did also through COVID, where we went everything online. So both therapeutic services were being provided online, and also workshops and awareness sessions. As part of our future plans, we are planning on increasing more the services that we're already providing to reach more minority, and also increase knowledge and understanding and programs related to well-being in general. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. I think next is Ivona. I can see Ivona, you're at the shop.
Yes, I am. Hello to everyone. I am Ivona, a social business coordinator. I am with the program from its beginning in 2019. And the main role of the social business is to source funds for YMCA Malta programs. Although financially revenue-oriented, the program is also strongly geared towards YMCA service users to provide them with educational activities, formal and informal, cultural exchange, to meet their needs in different ways, and to offer low-priced goods from our shop, which I show later on. That's basically the main focus of the program. It's important to mention that the program is actively engaged in local business community to raise awareness of social issues, is also engaged and stimulates corporate social responsibility involvement, and we do different things to gain support for those in needs from various organizations. The economic activities are concentrated in 4 branches: fundraising, travel, academy, and retail. We also have a maintenance team that takes care of our facilities in different places, different localities of Malta. Referring to fundraising, we conduct several monetary and in-kind campaigns, and also various fundraising events throughout the year. This year, we already launched 2 campaigns. One is called 365 campaign, and that campaign is asking for donation of €365 per year from businesses, organizations, individuals, and the money goes towards YMCA operation. The other campaign we launched in February is the 12 Appeal campaign, and that campaign is asking for €1 deduction from monthly salaries of employees of larger companies, and to support youth projects at YMCA. On the way, we have 2 more campaigns, but before I talk about them, I want to mention that in March, we launched the first YMCA fund, and this is something we are very excited about. The fund is for social service clients to meet their crucial basic needs. New campaigns on the way are oriented towards some kind of collaboration between small businesses in Malta and YMCA. We want to offer the possibility of advertisement on our social media platforms in exchange for donation for our organization. And the last campaign that is planned in May is dedicated for human resources departments to sponsor YMCA employees' salaries. So we are pretty busy with the fundraising, but still we work on other branches. I mentioned travel. I want to remind you that we operated a hostel facility until March 2020, but due to the pandemic situation, it was closed and transformed into a communal house for those with financial difficulties, personal difficulties, and it's in full operation ever since March 2020. Also, we for travel, we secured a nice modern flat for our volunteers and staff coming from abroad. And that's very important because YMCA Malta offers internship and internship possibilities and the opportunity for gaining experience by students from universities. So this is the flat we have to offer them as they come for internship or any kind of placement at YMCA, and they can stay with us. We also still plan to operate a touristic property in the future, of course, when the travel will resume. So that's travel. Let's talk about Academy. This is our project from that was developed in 2020, last year. We had a big plan, wonderful plan for English courses for developing a program of English course with cultural exchange. And the plan was there, but unfortunately the pandemic situation happened, so it was put on hold. But still, we entered into partnership with other YMCAs, so we could plan a nice program and apply for European funding, because we planned to base it on European funding. And the European funds are not published yet, so we wait for them to be in place. But we didn't give up on the Academy in 2020. Once we experienced first lockdown, we decided to do webinars, and we did first series of webinars called At Home Together, and those seminars were for discussing different issues related to people being at home, changing working style, lifestyle due to lockdown. And we had a pretty good number of followers of those webinars. And the next series of webinars we did as well by psychologists, and they were that series were called Let the Sun Shine. It was conducted by wonderful psychologists in Malta, helping people to deal with different psychological issues. So that's our academy, basically. If it comes to retail, I am at the shop, as Anthony mentioned. The shop is called the Charity and Vintage Shop. We have it in Zabar. It's a different locality in Malta, but it's a nice area. And the shop is based on a circular economy, which means that we get donations in clothing, shoes, household items, different, different items people donate to us. And first, we offer them to our clients, to our service users, community clients, and but we have still surplus, and that surplus is sold at the shop, and we monetize it, and the money goes towards our projects, and that's our shop, and the shop shows all the situation with the pandemic, because we opened it at the end of February last year, and then after 2 weeks we had to close it. And then so we did photographic inventory of the shop, and counting things, and making the shop nice. So we survived, somehow with this until summer, and in summer we opened it again, and it started to pick up, and the money was better every month. And now we still have the shop closed because we have second lockdown. So again, we reorganize it, we supply, with what we have, and we develop different strategies for sale on Facebook. We think about delivery. We just try to adjust to the situation that the shop is still in operation, and hopefully everything will be just fine. And so let me show you the shop so you have a better idea.
Yeah, please. We are looking forward. We are so curious.
Oh my goodness, where is that camera? Okay, you see it.
Yes.
Maybe I start from the entrance, okay? So I show you the entrance. This is the outside. Basically, you can see the main window of the shop, and then we have the other window that says YMCA Vintage Shop. All profits are in aid of YMCA Malta programs. And you have our beautiful triangles. And then we enter the shop, and the shop is divided into different spots, like corners. This is the corner for kids items. This is for seasonal items. And then we have books, quite a nice collection of books. In the middle of the shop, you can see clothing for the season, seasonal clothing. And then we have even a small small spot for more fancy, let's say, expensive items here, so people can choose. Then we have shoes, bags, household items, daily needs items, some electrical things people can buy, and of course decorations, nice Maltese decorations, plates. You can see this. This is dedicated for decorations as well, and that one too. So I think you can see the shop in its operation anyway.
Thank you. Thank you, Ivona. Gabriele next.
Yes. So to add to what Ivona was saying, something really important at YMCA is the volunteering aspect. It's very important to say that shop you had seen, it's completely run by our wonderful volunteers team. And this is one of the aspects that the program I take care of is responsible for. So engaging new people to be volunteers of YMCA, but just not volunteers. They become part of our bigger family. Our team is composed of myself and of Gwen, which you have already met, but unfortunately she's not here today because she has high fever. And then, so it's me, well, and all the volunteers and also students who come from all over Europe. So through the years, we have grew our collaborations with universities all over Europe. And every year we have around 40 students, mostly from social work and youth work, who come to Malta to do a placement with us. So this is one of the aspects that our department takes care of, the volunteering and students placement. Also, we take care of the international aspect of YMCA. So when it comes to youth exchanges, mobility projects, creating projects for international people to attend in Malta. And then the third aspect is youth services. We both have generic youth services, so this means that young people with no particular need come over for us to have a chat with them, do group activities, also tailor group activities from their own interest. And then we have activities that are more targeted. So we would meet with a person who has specific needs and tailor a program around that person, an education program. I would have loved to show you our place. Unfortunately, I'm at home on quarantine. I have created a very short video clip. I don't know if I can maybe share it with you. Do I have sharing permission, Olga?
Try now, Gab. Try, you have.
Can you see it?
It's coming.
All right.
Yes.
Perfect. No. So basically, this is the Valletta Center. It serves for three purposes, actually. It is our head office, which is further inside. This is the community space. And this is our newest space. It's a youth space and is going to serve as a music studio and also media lab. And the media lab is actually our newest project. We are really excited about it. From that space, the idea is to involve young people and have them create their own advocacy campaigns. We'll have so many equipment like cameras and professional microphones, a professional PC, for them to, instead of us sharing their message to social media, have them empower them to create their own projects, awareness and advocacy projects. So that's basically something else. Since we have been speaking a lot about fundraising, the main way how we fundraise for YMCA at the EF is through projects, so institutional fundraising. We write a lot of projects, and some of them, or let's say almost most of them, we win, and then we create projects from that money. That's all from my end.
Thanks, Gab. And Sarah.
Hi everyone, it's Sarah.
Sarah is worried about the time. I don't know how much time we have left, Olga.
So I think that we definitely have 10 minutes for sure, but if you need more, so please.
No, it should be fine.
No, it's okay. I'll manage in 10 minutes.
I think, Sarah, you also need the, you need to share, no? The screen.
Yes.
Just a second.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes.
So, So I'm Sara, I'm the head of home of Darnik Kassar. Whilst I'm giving an overview of our services, you will see our residences, some pictures because I couldn't be there today. Basically, our mission is to provide shelter, support, and a holistic service to individuals and families who are experiencing homelessness, and help them to be self-sufficient, make healthy choices, and eventually be able to move on to independent living. The first residence, which is the one you're seeing right now, is Darnik Kassar, which I'm the head of home of. We can help up to 34 residents who can be individuals, males, females, and families. We are the only shelter in Malta who can help a family as a unit. And they have up to 18 months at the shelter. But however, if they are able to move on to independent living in a shorter time, of course, we encourage them to do so if they are able to go ahead and move into the community. During this time at the shelter, they have an assigned residential support officer who will help them with weekly sessions so that they have weekly goals and reach that ultimate goal. Of course, the ultimate goal of independent living is different for everyone. A person, the ultimate aim would be to move on alone. For others, it could be shared. So it is an individualized care plan for the person according to their needs. Apart from that, they would have a social worker from YMCA and also from the government agency who would work together in a transdisciplinary team so that they are working hand in hand with the client to be able to move on from the shelter. As Dorian mentioned, they also have support sessions, and as a community, we emphasize a lot on the community spirit at the shelter. It's like a family there, and I'm proud to say that you could see the community spirit very, very evidently. And during the pandemic, we also have seen this because any measures we had to take, any new experiences, we're living them together, and they were very cooperative. So that community element was very important in maintaining this, and going through this time together. Then we have the second shelter, which we opened last year. The pictures you've seen before this house. The difference between Darnik Kassar and Y Communal Home is that it is a semi-independent. They live semi-independently. We can help 14 residents, the same individuals and families. Basically, we are still giving ongoing support, but there is not a team member round the clock with them. However, we do daily checks. They have a key working session with their residential support officer every 2 weeks instead of one. Their case is reviewed every 2 months instead of 1 month. So there's still that support from our side for whatever they need. And the care program and their care plan is tailored according to their needs as well. However, the people who would move there wouldn't need that much support as they would need while living at Darnik Kassar. Last year, we also, so although there was the pandemic, we've made a lot of big steps. We've secured the third house as well, which is the one you're seeing right now, Y Communal Home in Valletta, as well as individuals and family like the other shelters. This will be the first homeless shelter in Malta which will be able to support elderly and persons with disability. Of course, the elderly and persons with disability would have to be able to live independently, like all the residents we have at the other shelters. However, this accessibility would help us reachable for other cohorts than we are all helping at the moment. So apart from the residencies, and I will go over them briefly, we also work on prevention, awareness of homelessness in Malta, which is still very hidden. In fact, last year as well, we started the platform against homelessness. We've reached out to all stakeholders, which would be working with people who are homeless. We've managed to get on board 22 organizations, 2 ministries, the standards, the church, the public health, who needed a lot during the pandemic. And with the aim that altogether we would eradicate homelessness eventually, as a whole, as a platform, we could remove the stigma, bring out the awareness, and eventually eradicate homelessness. Apart from that, we do lectures, workshops, go on TV, and also we do a lot of outreach through our project, which is called Y Visible. Y Visible had 2 sides before the pandemic, proactive and reactive. Basically, team member used to go out in the streets, and if they see someone who is roofless, they would provide them with the necessary needs and also with the necessary information. So whenever anyone would need that help from us or from any agency, they would have that information in hand. However, the proactive side, we had to pause it during the pandemic, and now we're working more on the reactive side. Basically, if the general public, if they would send us pictures or location of people who are roofless and sleeping in the street, and we would go there and provide them with the necessary needs. Once again, if it's food, if it's bedding, if it's water, if it's something to keep them warm. So at the moment that we're a bit limited on the proactive side. Apart from that, we also emphasize a lot on the aftercare. So once a person is able to move independently, we still keep contact with them, like with the ex-residents, with the community clients. They become community clients after all. And so that if in any circumstance or in any change in their life, especially with the pandemic, it's even more common, we avoid that the risk of them becoming homeless again. So we're still there to support, we're still there to provide the needs. In fact, this year, end of last year, we started a new program, which is the Needs Support Program. Basically, it fights poverty and homelessness. It's available for YMCA residents at the shelters, community clients, and those of Y Visible. Basically, as we said, we emphasize a lot on the tailored program and tailored plans for our clients. Everything we do is very individualized according to the needs of the person we're working with. And in the same way, that's why it's called Needs Support Program. So if a person is sleeping outside, we cannot provide them with pasta because they do not have anything to cook pasta in. So we would have to give them something which they could open and eat. Or if that person has food, we would provide them with toiletries. Or if that person does not have a mattress, we would provide them with a mattress. So that is why it's called the Need Support Program. And we are working, at the moment, we're still working with our residents, this program, and ex-residents, and some community clients. We aim to explore more with this program and make it bigger in order to reach companies who could help with this program and reach the general public and create awareness through this program as well. As Dorian mentioned earlier, the YSS Hub, where Dorian is right now, it gave us the space. It's very recent, I think almost a month ago, we opened it. It's given us this space to work on a social work level. So the social work services, it gives us it enables us to go for home visits when, for example, a person is moving on, or if there is a suspicion of domestic violence, the social worker could go for a house visit as well. And with, as Gabriela mentioned, we have student work, social work students as well with us, so they have that space to start practicing with their supervisor, our social worker. So that is getting bigger and bigger in order to help the community as well. A project which is also some projects at the shelter as well. One of the first one I'm going to mention is Projectable. This project, as I mentioned, the community spirit is very much felt at the shelter, and due to this, we managed to come up with this project where a resident, they would find their own strength. So if I know how to cook or if I know how to draw, I would teach this skill to the other residents. For that resident, it's empowering for the resident who is teaching, for the resident who is giving this session, and for the others, they are learning something new. And this is done every week, so it's every resident has their own time to give something to the other residents. We also have health and fitness program. They do healthy recipes, they go for football matches, they go for exercises together, and some projects here and there in order to keep them up and running, especially during the pandemic. Last thing, we do a lot of research as well, which external research from the general public, and also internal research with our residents. This helps us, and residential program is growing, YMCA is growing, and this research helps us to make our service more according to what the public need at the moment. So through statistics, through research with students, through research, feedback from our residents after all, because they are the people who are homeless, not us, we are guests in their home. So yes, through all this, we are trying to eradicate homelessness after all, and help the community clients and our residents to move on and be self-sufficient after all. That's all from my end.
Thank you, Sarah. So basically, to conclude from our end, I would say that yes, YMCA Malta now has 4 different programs that we operate from. They are somehow intertwined and interconnected. One is about providing residential services. The other one is about young people and empowering young people. The other one is about well-being, the well-being of society. And then the other program, it's not a service kind of related program, but it's about what we have been discussing today, trying to get funds to YMCA, unless we find a casino who doesn't want to give us money.
But I forgot to mention, maybe you, Anthony, do about our nationwide TV campaign, please.
Oh, the TV campaign, yes. We have a TV campaign coming very soon, which is about fundraising money as well. But I think now, if you have questions or something which you didn't understand, you can ask the team.
Yes, Juliet, please go ahead.
You, you told that the people stay in the shelters for 6 months. But my question is, what's happening after that? So if the person is not, the person can't reach the weekly goal, and the person can't move on and live on his own. What do you do? How the work organized then?
So they can stay for 18 months, for a year and a half. If they don't reach the goals, of course, every 6 months there would be certain goals. For example, in the first 6 months, it's important for the resident to start working. So we don't leave everything for the last 6 months. And that is why I said that if they are able to move on before, they are encouraged to do so. In the case, for example, the pandemic, it wasn't a person not finding a job. It wasn't entirely their fault, because jobs were limited, and they were limited before COVID. So during COVID, it was even more of a difficulty. We would give extensions if we see that the person really and truly, we've had a person who had been with us for almost a year and a half, and it after all the improvement that was made, at the very end, this person lost the job that he had worked for so long. So at the end of the 1 year and a half, they lost the job that they were doing for almost a year because of COVID. And there, it's a genuine case, and that the person was provided with an extension, and we could stretch a bit more, and the goals would be worked on for a bit longer. But now the person has actually moved on. So yes, it's very individualized. So if it's for one person, would be one thing for the person, and it's what we love about this work and this service, that everyone is different, and it's very case by case. So we would actually work with the client, ask what they need. It's not what we want for the client, it's what the client needs, and we will work on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also, can I ask, do you take all people into the program, or you have some specific rules, or I don't know, order in which you take people into this program?
We again, it's very case by case, but basically it's between 18 and 16 with regards to age. But we do have we've had exceptions where we had minors, and we've had exceptions where we had people older than 60. So it's we'll see what we can work with at that time. If a person is 62 and is still working and is still independent, it doesn't make that person any different than someone who is 40 and still working and still living independently. Other than that, anyone who there's no such criteria. We'd see about the person. If the person is stable enough to live independently, they would come. Then if we cannot work with something, for example, if the person is still actively taking any substances or any drugs, or if the person has a mental health problem, but we are not equipped to work with the client, then we cannot accept. However, through the interagency connections which we have, we would refer them to some places, because after all, if we cannot work with the client, we're not doing any good for either us or for the client himself. So we wouldn't help them as efficient as we could be if they would be stable. And sometimes we would help the client, for example, if the client is actively using, at that point we would send them for a program. So we would refer them to another agency, and with kind of promise that when they finish the program, they have a secured place if they would have done that program, so that there's not that fear that they would end up in the homelessness cycle once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To your question, Juliet, as well, our third house, which we have secured last year, and we will be working upon it this year. It's particularly for when we will open it, it will be particular for people over the age of 60, and for people with physical disabilities, but they are homeless as well. Because we have seen, or our experience has taught us, that we are receiving cases of people with physical disabilities, and we're also receiving cases of elderly people over the age of 60. and we were not basically accepting them because we couldn't work with them. So as YMCA, we said we need to find ways how we can work with these people as well.
And it is how research helps us. I mean, through the years when we've seen that there's nowhere is accessible for people with disability who can actually live independently, because it doesn't mean that if you have a disability or if you're older than 60, you have to go to a care home or in a home for people with disability. I mean, we've seen from many different people that if you have a disability or you're older than 60, you can live independently, just the mentality. So we've seen this cohort that they need to have that accessibility, and through the research, the statistics we get there, we've seen that we do need this service in Malta. So in fact, we are opening this house and helping this other cohort, which there was a limitation in Malta in general.
Thanks for
all right. So unfortunately, like, this is the time to sum up. Yeah, and I really want to pay your attention. Yeah, that you have noticed that via Step platform that YMCA Malta is really using like different means of fundraising. Like, they're not putting all the eggs in one basket here, as we say. So please pay attention to it. This is a bright example of it. And one more thing, Anthony, please tell if I'm right or not, that probably none of this project wouldn't be possible without like strong partnership in different areas. Yeah.
Yes. As I discussed on STEPIC as well, I mean, the participants will listen to me there as well. Strong collaboration and partnership is needed, and every program, every service, you need to find, you need to fine tune it to what the donors and the benefactors need as well. In fact, I was listening today at the back, you know, when you were meeting and having the meeting, it's actually what happens. You go there with this idea that you found a benefactor, and they come up with a different picture which you have to deal with, and which you have to come up with something there and then to make it happen.
And this is how a community works.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that Malta is a great example of the community, because you have this size, yeah, of the city, of the country, that allows like to build it in almost ideal way. Thank you hugely to your team. Yeah, thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, Ivona. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Dorian. Thank you so much. And picture before we go to evaluation. Yeah. So nice to look how you start. Okay, please look at the camera. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and before we finish, we have like a short poll for you, and also we will ask you to leave your comments in the chat or to voice like your highlights and something probably which you haven't reached today. So this is a simple poll. We ask the questions about the session, whether how much you enjoyed it, how much useful it was for you, how much confident you feel about fundraising now. And also the fourth question is without any promises, but we want to hear your opinion about the Saturday session. We know that this is not ideal for everyone, so we want to collect your opinion and see what we can do about, so to make them more comfortable. Yeah, the picture is good. Those who voted, the floor is open. So this is the time for you to share if you feel like. So please share very shortly or drop a message with what results you are leaving.
I just want to say thank you for you guys for information. It was very useful, and as also inspired me on some future achieved goals and some future benefits to use this knowledge which I know today from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's one of my favorite, I guess, sessions so far. It was, I guess it was emotional in like a lot of ways, and it was funny, and the final court was the Malta's presentation team, and that's just, I don't know, that's touched my heart. I so want to go to Malta after my university. You can't imagine. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, I want to thank you, Malta, also for your presentations. And I think this session was really funny and kind of nice when we worked in the groups. And I think also like really, I learned a lot from doing. And I think it was kind of fun that in a sense, some of the things that we did were kind of unknown, or that we were put in new situations, and we maybe like learned by doing and learned by the mistakes. So I think that was also one thing that I enjoyed, kind of just doing something and then later like going through it and what was good and what was not.
Yeah, thank you.
I also would like to say thank you a lot, because it was so intensive, it's useful, and I like that's our game. I mean, a working group, that simulation. It was really useful because it's bring some new corner for also own project, and which questions I should ask before telling somebody about the project. And also really love that small presentation of YMCA Malta, and it's about sun and such a spirit. So nice. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you want to share, please share. Or please drop at least the message. Yeah, please drop the message to the chat, like with what you are leaving. Like, your feedback is important.
I quickly want to say a huge thank you for the devotion that we had today. I think it was like really inspiring and so funny. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's true. Thank you.
Yeah, I would also like to say a big thank you for this session to everybody. It was provoking in many ways, thought-provoking, and a lot of provocative situations, especially with that business thing. Thanks a lot. It really is challenging, and my highlight is that negotiation is the skill to work on really much. That's it. And thanks a lot for this virtual visit to YMCA Malta. I've been there, and seeing it right now, how much it's changed, was really great. Good luck, guys, with everything that you are doing. That was really inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We wish you a great weekend. And so please complete the static lessons. So those who haven't done it yet, you still have time before we launch governance lessons. So governance topic is coming next. So please take approximately the 1 week, so to complete other lessons, tasks if you haven't done so. Thank you very much. That was really inspiring meeting. Thanks a lot. See you soon, and let's keep in touch. Bye bye.
All right. Bye guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.